Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the date is set for the arraignment of the man accused of killing 3 Eastern Kentucky police officers and a canine officer. And an Eastern Kentucky chaplain shares how he's responded to that tragic shooting in Floyd County.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good Wednesday morning to you, almost 5 o'clock. I'm Dakota Makris. Well, I tell y'all what, we are having a start to the morning here. I woke up a little bit late. I did not get here until about 4:40, but I'll just blame my little kitten. How about we do that? Let's take it over to Brandon this morning. Well, I'm not going to blame the kitten. It did nothing. It was just me just sleeping. So
I understand.
Yeah, but it was cute this morning. I cuddled up in the blanket. I was like, I don't want to leave you.
Listen, you've said so many times you're going to get rid of it. I know you.
No,
you will not get rid of it.
I will rehome it to the right person, but they have to go through a lengthy
a rigorous process.
Exactly.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, let's talk about the forecast, which escalated quickly for some yesterday, and we're going to continue to see the calming down effect this morning. That front is still stalled out. See if you can tell me by looking at this satellite radar image where the front is stalled out. Yep, you've got clear skies in the northern counties, but the clouds are still hanging tough here in the south, along with some stray chances for rain. So it's basically in a line from Monticello up through London, up toward Jackson, and up toward Paintsville and Louisa there this morning. So again, we're kind of cut in half. Hazard, pretty good visibility. No real fog out there to notice this morning, but I did hit some patchy spots out there, and it will probably develop a little bit more as the morning goes on. Look at the temperatures. Now, that is not as good of an indicator, but you can see 64 Morehead, 65 Irvin, Lexington, but still close to 70 there. Jacksboro, Middlesboro, London, Jackson, Prestonsburg, and Pikeville is at 70 along with Logan and Jacksboro this morning. So several spots a few degrees warmer, several spots a few degrees colder. So again, back and forth there as that front's passed on by. It's still humid outside this morning. Hopefully once that front starts to move again, it'll clear out of here. But we're in the upper 60s this morning to start us out, and we'll probably be there for a little bit, especially in areas where there are no clouds, or where there are clouds this morning. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Lance Storrs was in court Tuesday morning for a virtual meeting as a date was set for the Allen man who is accused of killing 3 police officers and a canine during a June 30th shootout in Floyd County. Storrs was conferenced in virtually during the morning docket in Floyd County, where his arraignment was set after an indictment came down from a grand jury Monday. Local leaders and officials say this trial will be a long one, and they hope for justice. But regardless of the trial's outcome, there are some things like the loss of life that the area may never fully recover from.
Think about it, we lost 2 police officers that had 70 years experience between them. How do you ever replace that? I don't know that it's possible.
Storrs is set for arraignment August 1st at 1 p.m. As communities begin to try and heal following the tragic shooting in Floyd County, we talked with an Eastern Kentucky police chaplain who has helped at least 50 first responders try to process what happened. Gary Sloan is a former police officer and volunteer firefighter.
I have that insight to these people and what they go through on a daily basis.
And now he is a police chaplain with multiple emergency agencies in the Big Sandy, saying on the night of the Allen shooting, he received several text messages and phone calls.
Suddenly I got the call that there was an officer down. That's a call that nobody ever wants to hear.
Later, he received word multiple officers were down.
I found out that one of the officers had been determined to be deceased, and then suddenly we found out the second, and then the next day the third.
Although chaplains are associated with certain agencies, Sloan says they minister to any and all first responders. He talked with some into the early hours of Friday morning after the shooting, saying some were in disbelief.
Or they were angry and shouted and were mad. And then some, there was just tears that was flowing. And in each case, we have to work with that individual.
When calls came into dispatch, Sloan says you could tell by a dispatcher's tone how serious the situation was.
They was just numb because they heard it all. They eventually opened up, you know, and then that's when some tears started flowing.
Saying healing will take some time. In Pikeville, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News. Sloan encourages first responders to reach out to religious leaders if they are needing help. He also suggests seeing a medical professional if they are having a difficult time processing what unfolded in Allen. Well, in the wake of this tragic situation, we are glad to say we have some heartwarming video. Well, Floyd County Sheriff's Deputy Darren Lawson is recovering at UK Hospital following the shooting in Allen. Madison Nunnery, Lawson's fiance, posted this video on Facebook Tuesday showing Lawson reuniting with their 2-year-old daughter, Ryan. That is special. Well, one Southwest Virginia fire chief is back home after a short stay in a hospital that left him seriously injured this past weekend. On Tuesday, Chief Robert Anderson Jr. from Appalachia Fire Department Company 3 made a post on Facebook about his recovery. In the post, he thanked everyone who reached out to him and his family to offer support and prayers. He also thanked his fire department family for checking in on him daily. We're sure happy that he's back at home. Well, one Southern Kentucky Police Department has named its new interim police chief. The London Police Department chose Lieutenant Travis Dotson to succeed Daryl Kilburn, who retired in June. Lieutenant Dotson has served the police department for nearly 20 years. He was promoted to lieutenant in April of 2021. Mayor Troy Rutter says Lieutenant Dotson has, quote, demonstrated the experience and leadership ability it takes to make an excellent police chief, end quote. The new interim police chief says he plans to continue the department's relationship with the London community. Congratulations to him. As COVID cases climb nationwide, we're seeing the same trend here in Kentucky. The state released new numbers Monday. Nearly 11,000 new cases were reported, along with 62 new deaths. Both of them, those are up from last week. The positivity rate is also up, now just under 17%. Hospitalizations, patients in the ICU and on a ventilator are battling COVID are also up. Senator Rand Paul is dismissing calls for heightened COVID precautions. He says he believes most safety measures didn't really make a difference early in the pandemic. Senator Paul adds he believes most people likely have immunity from either the vaccine or past infections. Well, if you have been gathering items to potentially host a yard sale but haven't had the motivation to actually do it, the Satellite Shop in Hazard and the Kentucky River Regional Animal Shelter are asking for your help. The Satellite Shop has partnered with the Kentucky River Regional Animal Shelter for its upcoming Dish Cares event. The two groups will be using their resources to help raise funds for the shelter through a donation drive, yard sale, and silent auction.
Even right now, we've been getting donations coming in, and just the support that we've already received from a week of just announcing we're doing this is just unreal. It's going to be a great event.
Well, the yard sale and silent auction will be taking place August 1st at the Satellite Shop on Combs Road. Officials will be accepting any pet supplies, cleaning supplies, and any yard sale items. In the meantime, you can drop those items off at the Satellite Shop or the animal shelter. Well, thank you so much for getting your Wednesday morning started with us here on Mountain News this morning. When we come back, NASA shares some new astonishing images. Wow.
Can't beat that. Storms have moved down and the cooler air is moving in. I'll have the forecast for the next few days in about 3 minutes.